Today I'm bringing you another update of my Strada Italia road race bike, and as you can probably guess, there are quite a few changes compared to the previous setup. And in a similar fashion to the gravel bike, I've changed the group set to the Sram Red E1 edition and the cockpit to the standard 3T setup. Ezt már kivágott. So the motivation behind that was to test out the group set itself, also in the road guys, and because of the positive experiences I had with swapping the standard cockpit out for the gravel bike, I decided to go the same way with the road bike, just because I wasn't 100% confident with my position. The custom speaker bar that I've been using here before is really kind of tailor-made for the Factor Ostro and its geometry. So it was kind of too long and too low, perhaps, for this bike. And just like on the gravel bike, I felt that I don't have enough weight on the front or something with the weight distribution of the bike isn't quite right when cornering. So that again has been improved quite a lot because after the installation of the standard cockpit, which I'm happy about. I've yet to see how much of a penalty aero-wise that is. Hopefully not too great, or there will be some kind of way to mitigate that. But for now, I'm still in the process of experimenting with this. Yeah, but the main kind of complication stems from the fact that the frames I've been riding previously were 52s with the same amount of reach, but the stack height of the frame there was quite a bit lower. So maybe I will just have to resort to another custom speaker handlebar that just drops that much lower, so even lower than the previous one. That might have solved the issue, but it takes quite a while to have that made and worked out. So for now, I'm staying with this configuration because I'm relatively happy with it. The same thing applies to the road kind of application of the brakes with SRAM. Previously, I had the Dura Ace group set on, which I love. I think it's or it was until this point probably the top road group set. The shifting and ergonomics are excellent there, and the shift quality. And just to talk about how the SRAM compares to it. Well, the brake feel, that is far superior, just like with the GRX, and the modulation and the power of the brakes is amazing. I really love that. You really can have one finger braking at any speed, any corner, any terrain. It's just 100% confidence inspiring braking. So I'm really happy with that. Again, the bit of a problem is the fact that in the standard setting, as you can see it right now, particularly with this handlebar, the reach to the brake lever is extremely long, so a bit too long for my fingers. And if I take it further back, then because of the way that the brake lever kinks backwards, the shift pedal is then suddenly too close, so I have to actuate it with like these two fingers, and that's not what I'm used to, not that natural for me. So again, maybe a different handlebar might help mitigate that. It has a bit of a more pronounced drop shape to enable me to get my palms closer to the lever itself without winding the reach adjustment down. So that's one thing that I'm not 100% happy with. As for the shift performance on the group set, the rear shifting is excellent, but still slightly slower than Shimano, but works really well under load when cross-chained on bumpy terrain. There's nothing you can do to upset it, so that's really good. However, that wasn't really the problematic part of SRAM shifting. As we all know, the front has been the one with issues. And I can happily say now and confirm that that has been improved by a huge amount. So the shifting is reliable. I didn't get any chain drops inboard or outboard. And yeah, the shifting is very precise and dependable in both directions. No rubbing. The front mag now finally trims also, and it can be much more easily adjusted with the supplied kind of adjustment blocks which you use when installing the front mag and the chain rings. So that aids the setup process a lot more. Now Shimano is super easy to adjust on that front. It's not really sensitive at all to the adjustments. Here it still does take a bit more finesse to get it done 100%, but still there's a big improvement in that direction as well. Another thing that I find really great is that you no longer need two separate front mags for the standard size chainrings and then for the kind of bigger pro oriented chainrings, which in my case in particular is a benefit, because as you can see right now I have the 4835 chainring on there, which is not my preferred option at all. It's really small and at higher speeds quite an inefficient gearing. So instead of that I've ordered the Quark 5239, kind of the road pro level power meter chainring, and now all of the front mags have this kind of two position installation, and you also get the supplied shim to adjust it with the bigger chain rings, so there's no part redundancy and fewer options in general, so that makes it a lot easier. So yeah, that's the front shifting chainring, and yeah, just those things in general. If you have a look at the crank, you can also notice that right now I'm on a 170 mil crank compared to 165. I just wanted to try and go a bit longer to see if that negatively affects anything. I've already talked a lot about this on threads and on Instagram, because a lot of people now try to get on shorter cranks just for the sake of it. But really, if you have kind of a standard crank length and it doesn't impact your hip function or make you unstable on your position, make you rock your pelvis side to side, then really there's no reason why you would need to go much shorter at all. And particularly with this bike and the higher stack, I just don't find it necessary, so I'm going to stick with the 170s for now. Obviously, when the chainrings arrive in the bigger size with the Quark on there, I will no longer need the speed play powerlink pedals. Those will go back on my Kona TT bike, and here I will install the set of non-power speed play aero pedals. So that would be more or less the final configuration. As you can see, currently I'm using the bike with one bottle as it is intended aerodynamically. So you have this large section of the down tube designed to shield the bottle itself aerodynamically, and this is the fastest configuration. I'm also planning to do some aero tests on how the bottle configuration exactly affects the performance of the bike, just to have that information for my race strategy for next year. So that's one thing I want to explore as well. And then you have probably noticed that right now I have this physique saddle on there instead of the Wolf. It's not that anything is wrong with that, but I'm going to use the Wolf saddle because of its super lightweight on a different road bike build that's more weight oriented. Now this is a full-on aero bike, as you can see, maybe except the wide tires, but I do need those for the rough descents that I've been riding a lot of recently, and they're well matched to the discus wheels that I really love. And in this combination, you really have a bike that just kind of soaks up the rough roads, and it's really confidence inspiring. in those rough descents where I managed to get a couple of PRs compared to my previous bike. So yeah, the bike feels really planted and really stable at high speed on those rough descents, almost like a gravel bike, I would say. So kind of a different feel to a traditional road bike, but in this application, it's kind of useful. So we'll see how it goes. Really just only the stack height that's bugging me a bit, but I think I'll be able to get around that with a different cockpit, maybe a custom made one. So these are the changes that we made so far, and we're also making progress with this bike. So if you want to see it a bit later on in the final configuration, then of course stay tuned to the channel and subscribe. And if you like this setup or the one that I've shown you earlier, then we have a few of these frames for sale on our website, so we can build the custom specification for you. If you're interested in that, obviously you can reach us through the links below. Thanks for watching and see you next time.